Hi, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Christy, this is Alonso, this is Matt. We're going to talk a little bit about Paul Walker, who died last weekend in a horrible, horrible car crash at a charity event that he planned for his charity.
For typhoon relief.
Oh my goodness. And I think we think of him mostly from these Fast and Furious movies. I have always been a fan of his. And it's not just, the fact that he is gorgeous. I think he is a serious movie star from the looks and the presence, but also there's someone's got to be your strong center in these movies with big personalities and crazy flying cars and insane stunts. And he is the center of all these things.
He is saddled with the straight man role, as
I'm not sure he's even saddled. I think he does something with it that's tough and it's easy to underestimate. Being serious in the middle of it all. I don't know. I think that's hard to do.
I think that he's done some interesting work, right? Like Flags of Our Fathers. Like there's interesting things that you've seen Paul Walker do. I love the Fast and Furious movies. You guys know this. I love that whole franchise, and I'm really sad. It's really sad to see somebody at that age. And yeah, there's a lot of people on Facebook oh, why be sad about this, blah, blah, blah. I think part of it is, at least from the circles we run in, I've not met him, but everyone I've talked to, 7 or 8 journalists I've talked to that have interviewed him talk about how he was just the nicest, sweetest guy. We go and interview some people and they can be crabby or they can be, on autopilot.
Whatever,
He's always...
More so, people in the industry have talked about how nice he was. I'm a publicist and crew people, and believe me, once you're dead, they will tell you, they will tell everybody what a shit you were. Everybody is talking about how nice this guy was and how great he was to work with. So yeah, I mean, it's a sad loss just on its face because he was young and it was this ridiculous, this accident, this random thing. But on top of that, I mean, I never met him, but apparently a swell fellow.
Yeah, and the fact that he created this whole entire charity for first responders, and the event that he was at on Saturday was for typhoon relief in the Philippines.
Now, what's the film that he was in at South by Southwest this year that's coming out soon?
Ours? I have not seen it.
I've heard he's quite good in it. I did not see it. So.
I've not seen it, but I hear that for long stretches it's just him on camera, and that it sort of indicates a even deeper level of acting ability than we'd seen previously. But yeah, it's something like he was in The Skulls, right?
That's what I always think of.
But I like The Skulls. It's got Pacey in it. No, but it's something kind of juicy where he has to be the good-looking bad guy. Sure. I think it's easy to typecast somebody like that because he is so spectacularly good-looking.
Well, and now they shut production down on Fast and Furious 7 while they figure out what they're going to do. And Universal, the rest of that cast, they're kind of in a no-win situation here because if you use that footage, which yes, they're insured, money's not an issue, but if you use that footage,
is it exploitative?
And also, can you get around doing that movie when your lead star died doing the very thing that this movie portrays, which is driving around really fast?
Is that just too creepy?
Is it too creepy? Or do you pull him out completely? I don't know.
Doesn't James Dean die in a car accident in Giant? Which was his last. Oh no, actually he doesn't. I got that wrong. But I was thinking something else. But I don't know. I think
people bring up Heath Ledger, but first of all, in Dark Knight, Heath Ledger is almost unrecognizable. You almost can't tell that that's him.
Right.
And also, he wasn't running around robbing banks. So. It's a different kind of thing.
Do we know how much of his role was shot? I mean,
I don't know.
It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a significant portion.
I mean, because I'm not per se against obviously I think when Natalie Wood did Brainstorm, that was one of the big examples. I think people still wanted to see that movie with her in it, but obviously that she wasn't on a boat in that movie. I see what you're saying.
Whitney Houston, right? What was Sparkle? Right. Whitney Houston had died.
That actually, and that's a movie where she plays a character who has this drug past that she regrets and sings at a funeral in that movie, which I think some people were a little, but I thought that was really powerful.
Here's what I think Universal probably runs the very real risk of is if they use that footage, you will see people come out and complain, not that it's exploitative, but complain about the message that the movie sends when even the stars are out doing that thing that the movie portrays.
He wasn't driving. He was a passenger.
No, I understand.
We don't know what happened. We don't know the details of the accident.
We know that somebody was driving that car too fast. Yeah. That car was driving too fast. We know that.
So they're in a spot where they're advocating the very activity that killed the star.
That ironically killed that star, who was known to, if not necessarily street race, but was a gearhead. This was a guy who liked to drive around. He did a lot of racing. He knew what he was doing. Somebody else tragically was driving the car. I think that you could see a backlash on that front. It'll remind people how dangerous that stuff is, and people will start to ask the question whether or not is this responsible filmmaking.
The 7th movie, and now they're going to ask that question.
And, well, right, but that's the thing.
Now there's something
because people look for anything to complain about, and that could start. And at that point, Universal, how do you market a movie that way, right? How do you market a movie when that's the story people are trying to pull?
Right.
And how do you not make that movie though when you've already spent so much money making that
but they're
movie?
insured. That's the thing. Like,
So you just say no, we're just done with shutting down production entirely?
Well, I mean, that's what they've done now. What you do is you reshoot the whole thing. I mean, you rewrite it and reshoot it.
You kill off the character before it even starts.
And you miss your release date. I mean, that's the big question for them: is are they going to be able to make their July release date next year? That's the big deal.
I think you have to include that Paul Walker footage because it will seem more poignant. People who might not have been attracted to these films might be curious to go see them now. I don't think it's exploitative at all. I think maybe it's a nice homage. That's my take on it.
Yeah, you raise an interesting point. I hadn't really thought about it that way, so I can see both sides of this argument. It will be up to Universal to figure out, and obviously this is a big insurance or not. This franchise is a lot of money for them, so we'll see what happens. In any event, let's not lose the big picture here. A man has died. It is a sad thing.
It's very sad.
And it is a loss for the industry. And
go check out one of his movies. Go check out Varsity Blues.
We extend our sympathies to his family.
Bye. Thanks.